Hi guys, it's Danielle. I wanted to do a video and kind of explain how I got started with Beachbody and why I love it so much, and it's my thing now. Growing up, I was always the tiny one. I was always the little one, and I never ever really thought anything of it. If nothing else, I would get teased for being so little. And I showed horses. Before that I had played soccer and softball, and I was an ice skater, and I was always active. And we didn't eat a lot of junk. We never had pop in the house. Like pizza was a special treat. McDonald's was a special treat. And I didn't have any issues with eating or my weight or anything like that. I never struggled, even as like a preteen and a teenager. And then once I turned, it was about like 15, 16, I would always gain 10 pounds, and it was like on the dot, 10 pounds every single winter. And then I would lose it again over the summer. And it was just that cycle. Like every year, I mentally knew I was going to gain 10 pounds by February, and then I would lose it again. And then like 17, 18 happened, and I didn't lose it. I gained it, and then I would lose maybe a couple pounds, and then winter would come, and I would gain 10 more. And I remember starting to panic and starting to freak out. And that was when I kind of started my diet life. I tried every diet I could find. I've done Atkins, I've done, high protein, I've done low protein, I've done no sugar, I've done no carb, I did cabbage soup. I anything that I could find that was a weight loss diet, I would follow. Then I started going to the gym. I hated the gym. I had no idea what I was doing. I was so self-conscious that all the people there were watching me and watching me not have any idea what I was doing. I got a personal trainer. I actually gained 10 pounds, and it was not muscle, because all of a sudden I had this mentality of, well, I have a personal trainer and I'm working out, so I can eat whatever I want. And I didn't know how to eat, so I did lean cuisine meals, I did Weight Watchers bars, I did anything that looked like it was healthy. That's what I ate. And I still struggled. And then as soon as I thought I couldn't have something, that was all I wanted. So I just had a really, really bad cycle and a really bad relationship with food and exercise. And then I can remember it was after my parents got divorced, my mom lost a bunch of weight, and she was really, really tiny. And I was about 20 when this happened. And I just remember we left. It was like a Mother's Day brunch, and I felt so full because I gorged myself on all this food at the country club. And then my mom was so tiny. And I thought, I have to get rid of this food. Like, I can't let this all digest and turn to fat because I'm already too heavy. I can't let it digest. So I went outside and I threw it up. And that was kind of like the turning point where I was like, that was really easy. And I feel better. So and then that started a downhill spiral. That started when I was about 20, and it was pretty out of control until I was about 26. I had severe bulimia, and then there were days in there where I wouldn't eat at all. So I kind of had like every single eating disorder that they have. I kind of had them all mixed in. I went to therapy. I went to counseling. I hated everything. My life, my body. I didn't know what to eat. I was so overwhelmed. So I would eat everything because I was depressed. And it was just bad, bad, bad. So I started the recovery for that, I did start to get better. And then I kind of stopped eating and I kind of went the opposite way. So then I lost a bunch of weight. And, things were great because I was tiny according to the scale and all I was focused on was that number, but I had no muscle tone. I was not healthy and I was still miserable. I always thought if I can just get to X number, everything will be better. My life will be better. I'll be happy. And I got to that number and then I got below that number and things still weren't better. So I was kind of in like this awkward, miserable stage where I was on Pinterest and I would just search Pinterest all day of like fitness routines or like those 30-day challenges or like skinny people. And I would just look at that and wish that I could look like that. And then I would also get on Facebook and I would just scroll. And anytime I came across a page of someone that was into fitness, I would like them and follow them. And I didn't do anything with it. It was just something for me to cope. And I would like it. I would follow them. And I started following this one girl because I had seen her through a mutual friend. A mutual friend had liked her post, so she popped up in my newsfeed, and I was like, oh, it says April McDonald Health and Fitness, so I'll like her. So then I started following her, and because we had this mutual friend, she kept showing up more and more and more. And she was so happy, and she was so bubbly, and she was a dog mom too. And then I started watching that she was a coach, which I had no idea what that was. And then I watched that she quit her full-time job to stay home and coach full-time. And at this time, I hated my job. Like I was just in a very low place. So I was like, well, if she can do it, maybe I can do it. I have no idea what she's doing. So I watched her for probably a good 6 to 9 months. And then I finally messaged her. And I messaged her about the 21-day fix because she'd had a post about it. And I originally wanted to do just the 21-day fix. And then she responded, said, here's how we can get you into a challenge group. You'll have all the support. This is how the program works. And then you can sign up to coach and you can help other people. And I was like, whoa, no, I don't want to coach. That is not my thing. I don't want to sell. I don't want to push. I don't want to bother people. And she was like, that's fine. But I couldn't pull the trigger. I was so nervous to spend that $140 because I was afraid to fail. And I had already spent so much money on all these other pills and DVDs and infomercial fitness things that were supposed to give you abs. And I went into it already expecting to fail. So it was probably for like 2 months that I kept kind of texting or kind of messaging, and then I would message her and be like, okay, I'm ready to go. And then she'd be like, great, we have a group you can jump into. And then I'd be like, no, maybe I'm not. And I told her no 4 times, and then something snapped. And one day I was just at that point of where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I called her. I had my credit card in my hand because I didn't have the money. My account was pretty much overdrawn if all my checks had cleared. I messaged her. I said, I'm ready. I have my credit card. Let's do this. And I never looked back. I did the 21-day fix. I actually got results, which was amazing because my intention was to do it and then return it and get my money back because they had a 30-day money back guarantee, which nothing else I'd ever done had a guarantee. So I was like, well, there's no risk. I'll just get my money back. Not a big deal. But I loved it. I started getting results. I started feeling better. I started wanting to work out. I was starting to learn how to eat and how to actually pay attention to ingredients and portion, and why just because it's a vegetable doesn't mean you can't eat a serving bowl of it. And the support and the whole community was just like, it was nothing I'd ever experienced before. I didn't even know that type of thing was out there. So at that point, I was hooked on the workouts. I loved the Shakeology. I felt amazing. I was a failed protein shake and a failed slim fast girl, so I kind of had very low expectations going into the Shakeology. But again, it was different. It actually kept me full. It made me feel good. It tasted amazing. And I started to think, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can actually make this a job. And I talked with my coach, she got me sent into trainings. I started doing more research, following other, successful coaches, and I was hooked. 2 months in, my job, it was only like a temporary job at the time. I was a part-time office assistant, and it was supposed to be temporary, and then they just kept extending it. Well, they got to the point that they didn't need me anymore. So I all of a sudden had all this free time, and I thought, just jump into coaching. If it doesn't work, at least I can say I tried and it didn't work. But I would rather, I've always backed out of everything when it got hard. I'd always done the safe thing. And I was like, I am tired of playing it safe and then regretting it down the road. So I would rather try it and realize it's not for me and then quit than 10 years from now be like, I wonder where I would be if I hadn't, not tried it. So that was 19 months ago. I am now a full-time coach. I'm a stay-at-home dog mom. I love what I do. Our team is amazing. I've met some of my closest friends. Some of them I've never even actually met in person. We just Skype and we talk, and it's a whole different community, and it's incredible. So if you've been on the fence about trying a program, if you've kind of thought maybe coaching was for you, but you're not sure, let me know. Send me a message, reach out, send me an email, because if I wouldn't have tried this, I don't even know where my life would be. I'm a better person from the inside. I'm a better person physically, emotionally, mentally, and it's all because of Beachbody. And it's the best thing that I've ever done. So, and you don't have to say on the first day whether or not it's for you. You can try it out. You can see, because not everybody is going to want to coach, and that's totally fine. But for those of you who are not sure, or maybe wondering, or hate your job, or would just like some extra income, this could be what you've been looking for. And I would love to talk to you more about it, because it's changed everything in my life. And I'm so, so grateful that I took the plunge and got out of my own way and made a huge, huge life change for the better. So that's kind of my story. That's how I got started.